I thought I would share my results since I've been in the health and wellness industry forever, grew up in it, and it's one of the things that I do in my coaching business, along with being a love and relationship coach, of including, communication skills and Tantra techniques and all that good stuff. And I have done consulting with this, gosh, ever since I can remember. And I wanted to try the medical medium. And I particularly trust him more than some other sources because he channels his information. So what I did is I did, as soon as I understood his concept of eating well enough, I went ahead and did it for 3 weeks. So I found that for 3 weeks, it was pretty easy to do. Um, it's basically just eating fresh fruits, fresh veggies. I went to the farmer's market and bought from there, and it just felt really healthy. And I realized how much I'm not eating as fresh as I thought I was. It's so easy to get used to just eating packaged foods or whatever, prepared foods. And anyway, I did that along with starting my day with the lemon water and then the celery juice and then one of his smoothies. And I'm doing that to this day, actually, that routine of those 3 drinks in the morning. And then for 3 weeks, I did the eating part, which is, just pretty much all fresh. And, so that's kind of like a no-brainer. I was eating, I would eat beans, and he lets you lean on potatoes as kind of like a staple, like when you're kind of tired of the rabbit food or salads or whatever, then you can make potatoes in so many different ways. So that's kind of what you lean on, in my opinion, in his approach. And it's really kind of a cleansing experience, as far as like, if you can eat that way all the time and you're like a raw foodist, then that's awesome. I find that I need a break from it and I need variety. So, but for 3 weeks, I was able to do it just fine. And then it's like I needed a break from it. But, it's really designed, I think, to just give the body a break from all the processed foods. It's pretty extreme and yet appropriate to say no meat, no dairy, no eggs, no gluten, and of course no junk food type stuff. So, that's eliminating a lot of stuff, at least for the American diet, right? But I didn't find that really that hard. I already knew those things really aren't that great anyway, and didn't really partake of those things that much anyway, just a little bit here and there to bring variety in. But anyway, my success story with it was I definitely felt light and, healthy on it. I didn't really have any serious health issues like some people, who have to do it for a long time, I guess, to heal. The only thing that I did have going on is I just turned 50 and I live in Maui and one of the things that kind of can show up is that I had fibroids. And when I went in, they said, gosh, you've got like 2 the size of grapefruit, and then you've got some oranges and lemons in there too, which are pretty decent size. So it doesn't really translate into being much of an issue for me, except that I had one of the grapefruit sized ones on the right side of my abdomen, and it was, pretty hard, like almost feels like muscle, and it would protrude a little bit from in my right abdomen there, kind of uterine area. And it wasn't really giving me any issues, these fibroids. I mean, I did go through a spell where I bled a lot, but I got past that, and my periods were fine. But I knew that they were probably leaning up against, my other organs, like my intestines and stomach and all that, and that probably wasn't the best. So anyway, I noticed toward the end of that 3 weeks that that was gone. So it was pretty easy just to feel and be like, oh my gosh, you know, it's not there anymore. That hard grapefruit is gone. So the beauty of it is that 3 weeks of eating this way and so much lighter and the celery juice and whatnot, it gave my body enough of a chance to heal that part of things. So that's pretty awesome, I think. I will say that when it was happening, I was experiencing some cramping because it was kind of like my body, I think, was dissolving it and kind of getting rid of it. And so I felt it in process. It was like sort of having this cramping sensation, which I knew was unusual because I wasn't having my cycle at that time. And usually that only shows up during my menstrual cycle, but it was at a totally different time of the month. So I was like, that's weird, what's going on? And then I figured it out. So anyway, that was my body dissolving that big fibroid. And that's the one at least I know of that it dissolved because it was protruding and pretty easy to the touch to feel. So I am very happy about that. And what I like is that, you know, just like any approach to eating, whether it's keto or, you know, all the other different ones that are out there, vegan, vegetarian, it's always good to just kind of understand the basic concepts and then apply it. And apply it when you choose to. Because I'll always have those principles with me. And of course, I've stuck with the morning drinks. It's just that I've, you know, kind of sifted in some other, not really dairy or meat, to be honest. But, you know, like I was just wanting some lasagna for some reason. Or I just was, you know, kind of branching out more. And like, for instance, you know, potatoes you can cook in so many different ways. So, you know, whether it's tater tots or hash browns or fully loaded baked potato, only not fully loaded according to them, is so good. But you know, there's French fries, there's sweet potato, there's just scalloped potatoes, and you know, all these different things. So I started just changing it up a bit because I do need variety to stick with something. Otherwise it gets a little monotonous. I'm trying to think of what else I incorporated that was maybe different from the norm. You know, I'm okay with having a little bit of fish here and there, and my body kind of tells me when it needs something. So I'm okay with that. So anyway, that was my little journey, and I'm going to continue to use the principles. And you know, I think what I noticed is if I actually just honor my body and what it's telling me, I do much better. Like, for instance, I'll give you a good example with the celery juice. So I just moved in and I didn't have access to my juicer, so I was just using my Vitamix blender. And that means that you do have to add a little bit of water for it to fully mix up, and then there's a lot more pulp or fiber, you know, to the drink instead of it just being straight juice. I personally was fine with it. You know, you're not going to get, I guess, that straight juice, but you know, that's how nature made it, and I wasn't going to like get anal about it because I couldn't really do anything about it at the time, and I figured, well, at least I'll do it. But I noticed that, you know, even celery juice every morning can get monotonous. And I just let my body tell me, you know, I think 1 cup is enough today, you know, or I'm getting kind of sick of it. I think, you know, I'm fine just having 1 cup instead of like a full 12 ounces or whatever. So I just let my body tell me what it wanted. And, you know, if I started to go, ugh, you know, then I just didn't push it, because I think that's where we make a mistake. I know when they kind of do these one-size-fits-all type plans, you know, it kind of keeps us from really listening to our bodies, and I think it's important to kind of adjust it. Because if you're really dreading something, or you've had enough beets, or you've had enough whatever, salad or bunny food, you know, whatever it is that is feeling like too much, you know, just have a little bit and just say, okay, that's good for today because it's getting to be too much. And then you can still stay on the program without feeling like you're cheating. And yeah, I actually didn't get the books. They didn't arrive until after the fact. So I'm really looking forward to actually digging in and getting more details about everything. And because I like to know the why behind doing things and all the details. And so at any rate, that was my experience, and I hope that's helpful to you.